The message came on a Tuesday. At first, the radio operators at NASA thought it was just another bit of space noise. But Dr. Alan Carter knew better. He had been searching for signs of alien life for 20 years. And now, in 2078, he finally had proof. "Play it again," Alan said, his eyes wide behind his glasses. The young technician nodded and pressed a button. The strange pattern of beeps and clicks filled the room once more. "It's a code," Alan whispered, "and I think I can break it." For 3 days, Alan barely slept. He worked in his office at the International Space Research Center, drinking coffee and typing on his computer. On Friday morning, he called the president. "Madam President, I've decoded the message. It's an invitation from something called the Galactic Council. They want to meet us." 6 months later, a sleek silver ship landed in a field outside of Washington, D.C. Thousands of people watched from behind barriers. Soldiers stood guard. News cameras pointed at the ship as its doors slowly opened. Ambassador Zix Terra of the Voluvian species stepped out. The alien had blue skin, 4 arms, and large purple eyes. It wore a shimmering robe covered in strange symbols. Commander Samantha Wright stood at attention nearby. The Navy pilot had been chosen as the military liaison for this historic meeting. She watched as the president stepped forward to greet the alien. "Welcome to Earth," the president said. "We are honored by your visit." The alien bowed slightly. Its voice came through a small device on its chest, translating its clicks and whistles into English. "The Galactic Council sends greetings to Earth. We have been watching your world for some time. Your recent advances in space travel have qualified you for consideration as a member species." Later that day, Commander Wright sat across from Zix Terra in a conference room at the White House. Several scientists and government officials joined them. Alan Carter sat next to Samantha, still hardly believing he was meeting an actual alien. "Tell me, Commander," Zix Terra said, "what do your people do for enjoyment?" Samantha smiled. "All sorts of things. We like music, art, sports. Many of us enjoy outdoor activities." The alien nodded. "What kind of outdoor activities?" "Well, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie myself," Samantha said. "I love skydiving when I'm not flying jets. Last year I went rock climbing in Colorado without ropes. That was incredible." Zix Terra's purple eyes widened. "You intentionally jump from high places. For fun?" "Sure," Samantha said. She pulled out her phone. "Here, I have some videos." The alien watched as Samantha showed clips of humans bungee jumping, surfing giant waves, and racing motorcycles. With each video, Zix Terra seemed to grow more uncomfortable. "And these activities are common?" the alien asked, its voice higher than before. Alan jumped in. "Well, not everyone does extreme sports, but yes, many humans enjoy activities with a bit of risk." Zix Terra stood up suddenly. "I must report this to the council immediately." "Is something wrong?" the president asked. No, Zix Terra said, but its blue skin had turned a pale gray. "I simply need to update my superiors on what I have learned." The alien hurried from the room. The humans looked at each other in confusion. "What just happened?" Samantha asked. Alan shrugged. "Maybe they don't have sports where they come from." 2 days later, Zix Terra's ship left Earth. The alien had barely spoken to anyone after the meeting, claiming it needed to prepare reports. It promised that the council would be in touch soon about Earth's membership status. 1 week after the ship departed, Dr. Alan Carter picked up a new transmission from space. As he decoded it, his face grew serious. "What does it say?" Samantha asked when he called her. "It's addressed to the president," Alan said. "The Galactic Council wants to meet with us again, but the message mentions concerns about the psychological stability of the human species and alarming behavior patterns." "Samantha, I think you scared them with your skydiving videos." Samantha laughed. "You're kidding, right?" Alan wasn't smiling. "I don't think I am. The way Zix Terra reacted. I think they might believe we're all crazy. The space station called Harmony of Stars was huge. It floated in the darkness of space like a giant metal flower. Inside, aliens from 27 different planets met in a large round room. They sat in tall chairs around a circular table, talking in many strange languages. Ambassador Zix Terra stood in the middle of the room. The blue-skinned alien looked nervous. Honored council members, Zix Terra said, I have visited Earth. I have met with the humans, and I must report that they are not like us. A large screen appeared in the air. It showed Samantha Wright's videos of humans skydiving, climbing mountains without ropes, and racing fast cars. The humans do these things for pleasure, Zix Terra explained. They call it fun and excitement. They seek out danger on purpose. The room filled with shocked sounds. A tall gray alien with a very large head stood up. This is Counselor Vreen of the Midorian species, said a small robot, translating for the humans watching from a side room. These creatures are clearly insane, Counselor Vreen said in a flat voice. No rational species would behave this way. I propose we quarantine their planet immediately. Mark it as a world of dangerous, unstable beings. Many council members nodded in agreement. In the side room, Professor Olivia Martinez frowned. The Earth government had sent her to help explain humans to the council. She was an expert on human behavior. Now she saw that the aliens completely misunderstood her species. We need to stop this, she whispered to Alan Carter, who sat beside her. They think we're all crazy just because we enjoy a little risk. Back in the council chamber, a new voice spoke up. It belonged to a large, red-skinned alien with sharp teeth and scars across its face. I am Representative Krell of the Dralax, it growled. I find these humans interesting. My people also enjoy challenge and danger, though not in the same ways. Perhaps we should study them more before we decide they are insane. Counselor Vreen shook his large gray head. The evidence is clear. Look at their violent history. Look at their entertainment. They create games where they pretend to fight and kill. They watch scary stories for pleasure. They jump off cliffs with only thin fabric to catch them. This is not normal behavior. More videos played on the floating screen. Humans boxing. Humans watching horror movies. Humans laughing while riding roller coasters. Even their young seek out fear, Zix Terra added. They tell scary stories in the dark. They play games where they chase each other. They appear to enjoy being afraid. The council chamber grew louder as the aliens argued. Some wanted to ban all contact with Earth. Others wanted to study humans from a safe distance. A few, like Krell, seemed almost impressed by human behavior. Suddenly, the doors to the chamber opened. Professor Olivia Martinez walked in, her head held high. She wasn't supposed to enter without permission, but she couldn't wait any longer. Distinguished members of the Galactic Council, she said clearly, I am Professor Olivia Martinez of Earth. I am an expert on human psychology and behavior. Please allow me to explain my species to you. The room fell silent. Ambassador Zix Terra looked surprised. Counselor Vreen looked angry. Representative Krell smiled, showing sharp teeth. This is highly irregular, said the council leader, a tall blue alien with 6 eyes. But perhaps it would be useful to hear from a human directly. Professor Martinez, you may speak. Olivia took a deep breath. She knew she had one chance to change the council's mind about humans. One chance to show them that seeking thrills and taking risks didn't make her people crazy. It made them human. Thank you, she said. First, I want to explain something called adrenaline, and why humans sometimes seek out danger not because we're insane, but because of how our bodies and minds evolved over thousands of years. Olivia Martinez stood before the Galactic Council, feeling the stares of 27 alien species on her. She had practiced this speech many times, but now she wondered if any explanation could help them understand humans. On Earth, our ancestors faced many dangers, Olivia began. To survive, Our bodies developed special reactions to threats. When we feel fear, our bodies release chemicals that make us stronger and faster. One of these chemicals is called adrenaline. She paused, watching the aliens' reactions. Some looked confused. Others seemed interested. Over time, some humans began to enjoy this feeling. The rush of adrenaline became pleasant to us. That's why some of us seek out activities with small, controlled risks. It feels good. Counselor Vreem stood up, his gray skin wrinkled with concern. You are saying that humans deliberately trigger emergency survival responses for enjoyment? Yes, Olivia admitted. But it's perfectly safe most of the time. We take precautions. The council chamber filled with shocked whispers. Ambassador Zixterra's four hands trembled. This only confirms my assessment, Vreem declared. No stable species would find pleasure in fear. It is like enjoying pain or starvation. It is clearly a form of mental illness that has infected their entire population. Olivia tried again. It's not illness. It's just different. Some humans like quiet activities too. Reading, gardening, painting. But even your calm pursuits contain elements of risk and violence, interrupted another alien, showing images of human books and movies. Stories about danger, fear, conflict. Even your small children play games where they pretend to fall or be chased. Olivia felt the conversation slipping away from her. She looked to Representative Krell for help. The scared red alien nodded slightly. My species also values courage, Krell said. We do not seek thrill for its own sake, but we understand the concept of facing fear. Perhaps humans simply have a different balance than most council species. The council leader raised a hand for silence. We have heard enough. The council will vote now on the status of Earth. Olivia watched anxiously as the aliens cast their votes. After a few minutes, the council leader spoke again. Earth will not be invited to join the Galactic Council at this time, the leader announced. Instead, we will place the planet under observation status. Humans may continue developing their technology and society, but under council monitoring. We will reevaluate their case in 50 years. It wasn't the worst outcome, but it wasn't good either. Olivia felt disappointed as she left the chamber. Outside, she met a small purple alien with large, curious eyes. Professor Martinez, I am Dr. Nixtal, chinopsychologist. I find your species fascinating. Perhaps we could work together to help the council understand humans better. Olivia smiled. I'd like that very much, Dr. Nixtal. Back on Earth, tech entrepreneur Gregory Walsh sat in his office, staring at his computer screen. His security program had detected something strange. Tiny devices floating in Earth's atmosphere, recording and transmitting data. Alien surveillance, he muttered. They're watching us. Gregory was a genius with computers. Within days, he had created a program that could detect and track the alien monitoring devices. What he discovered shocked him. The devices were everywhere, watching human activities all over the planet. Meanwhile, Dr. Frank Miller, a human scientist, joined the first exchange program with alien researchers. He was working in a laboratory on a small council space station when an accident happened. A container of dangerous chemicals fell and broke open. Without thinking, Frank grabbed the container and ran to a disposal unit. Even though the chemicals burned his hands, he saved 3 alien scientists from harm. Later, his alien colleagues stared at him in amazement. You knew the chemical would hurt you, yet you picked it up anyway. One asked. Someone had to, Frank said simply. The news spread quickly through the council. A human had knowingly risked injury to help others. Some council members were confused. How could the same crazy risk-taking behavior also lead to heroic acts? Perhaps humans were more complicated than they had first thought. The Military Assessment Committee of the Galactic Council met in a special room with no windows. 12 aliens sat around a black table, watching videos of human wars and battles. These creatures are even more dangerous than we first believed, said the committee leader, a tall insect-like alien. Look at their history. They have fought wars almost constantly. They have created weapons that could destroy their entire planet. Another alien, with green skin and 4 eyes, pointed at the screen. Their soldiers will run into danger to save others. They call it bravery. We would call it insanity. The door opened and Admiral Cora Blackwood walked in. She wore the dark blue uniform of the Earth Space Force with stars on her shoulders. Her face was serious, but her eyes were sharp and alert. "Thank you for inviting me," Admiral Blackwood said. "I understand you have questions about Earth's military capabilities." The aliens looked at her nervously. One of them pressed a button, and a new video appeared on the screen. It showed human soldiers jumping out of helicopters into a battle. "Can you explain why your species sends living beings into danger instead of using only machines?" the insect-like alien asked. Cora nodded. "We do use drones and robots for many dangerous missions, but human soldiers can make quick decisions in complex situations. Sometimes, a human will sacrifice themselves to save others. No computer can match that level of dedication." The aliens looked even more uncomfortable at her answer. "You speak of sacrifice as if it is normal," said the green alien. "Do humans not fear death?" "Of course we fear death," Cora said, "but we fear failing our friends more. If my death saves 20 others, that's a trade I would make. Most soldiers would." The room fell silent. The aliens stared at her with expressions of horror and confusion. Only one, a large red alien that Cora recognized as Representative Krell of the Dralax, seemed impressed. After the meeting, Krell approached Cora in the hallway. "Admiral Blackwood, your words disturbed many on the committee," Krell said in a low voice. "But my people understand sacrifice and courage. I believe our species could work well together." Cora studied the scared alien face. "What are you suggesting?" "A private alliance. My species has long believed the Council is too cautious. If trouble comes, we want fighters like humans on our side." Before Cora could answer, her communication device beeped. It was an emergency message from Earth. She read it quickly, her face growing dark. "What is it?" Krell asked. "Someone leaked information about this meeting," Cora said. "Now people on Earth know that some Council members think humans are too dangerous. They're calling for us to increase our space military immediately." Krell nodded. "The Council fears what it does not understand. And what the Council fears, it often tries to control. Or eliminate." Cora looked sharply at the alien. "Are you saying the Council might attack Earth?" "Not the entire Council, but there are some who believe it would be safer to limit human development before you spread through space. They fear your unpredictability." When Cora returned to Earth, she went straight to a meeting with the world's leaders. The room was tense as she explained what she had learned. "So they think we're crazy and dangerous," the president said. "What do you recommend, Admiral?" Cora stood tall. "We need to accelerate our space fleet development, not to threaten anyone, but to protect ourselves. And we need to find allies among the Council species. Representative Krell and the Dralax seem to respect our courage, even if they don't fully understand us." Gregory Walsh raised his hand. He had been invited because of his discovery of the alien surveillance. "I can help," he said. "My company has been studying the alien technology we've observed. We've already made breakthroughs that could help our ships move faster and our weapons work better." The president looked around the room. "It seems we have 2 paths forward. We can try to convince the Council we're not a threat, or we can prepare for the worst. I think we need to do both." Far beyond Council space, in a region filled with red stars, was the home of the Zeth Empire. The Zeth were tall, gray aliens with 6 arms and yellow eyes. They had fought against the Galactic Council for hundreds of years. Emperor Vox sat on a throne made of dark metal. He watched a screen showing humans doing dangerous things, the same videos that had scared the Council. "Interesting," Emperor Vox said. His voice was deep and cold. "These humans are not afraid like the Council species. They might be useful to us." His advisor bowed. The Council has placed Earth under observation. They think humans are unstable and dangerous. Emperor Vox laughed. Then they have done our work for us. The Council fears them. We can use that. The Emperor gave new orders. A spy ship was sent to Earth. On board was Drenvor, the best spy in the Zeth Empire. Drenvor was good at looking like other species. With special technology, he made himself appear human. He landed on Earth in a small ship and began his mission. He found Gregory Walsh's company in a city called Seattle. Gregory was working late in his office when Drenvor walked in. "How did you get past security?" Gregory asked, reaching for his phone. "Do not be alarmed," Drenvor said. He pressed a button on his wrist, and his human disguise disappeared. "I am not from the Council. I am from the Zeth Empire." Gregory stared at the six-armed alien. "What do you want?" "To offer an alliance. The Council thinks you are crazy. They fear you, but we respect strength and courage. Together, we could stand against the Council." Gregory thought quickly. This could be important information. Let me call some people who should hear this. Soon, Admiral Blackwood and Professor Martinez joined them. Drenvor repeated his offer of alliance. He showed them maps of Council space and Zeth territory. "The Council species are weak," Drenvor said. "They fear risk. They fear death. Humans and Zeth are stronger. We could rule the galaxy together." Admiral Blackwood listened carefully. "And what would humans do in this alliance?" Drenvor smiled, showing sharp teeth. "Your ships would lead attacks on Council worlds. Your soldiers would fight on the ground. The Council species would surrender quickly when faced with humans they think are crazy and unpredictable." Olivia noticed something in the alien's words. "You want us to be your shock troops, to do the most dangerous fighting. You enjoy danger, yes. This is what we have heard." The three humans looked at each other. Gregory spoke first. "We'll need to discuss this with our leaders. Can you come back tomorrow?" After Drenvor left, Admiral Blackwood shook her head. "They don't respect us. They want to use us as expendable soldiers." "We should warn the Council," Olivia said. "If the Zeth are planning attacks, everyone is in danger." The next day, Olivia returned to the Galactic Council station. She requested an emergency meeting, but many Council members refused to see her. "They still think we're unstable," she told Dr. Nixtal, her alien friend. "They won't believe our warning." "I can help," Nixtal said. "I've been studying human psychology. My research shows that human risk-taking is balanced by strong moral principles. You are not crazy, just different." Before they could bring this evidence to the Council, alarms sounded throughout the station. A Zeth warship had appeared and attacked a Council research vessel nearby. On the command deck, Council leaders watched in shock as a small fleet of Earth ships arrived first to help. The human ships were faster than Council vessels. They flew in patterns that seemed random and dangerous, but they drew the Zeth ship's fire away from the damaged research vessel. "See," Councillor Vreen said, "the humans fight like they have no fear of death." "Just as we thought." Representative Krell pointed at the screen. "Yes, but they are fighting to protect Council scientists, not themselves. Is that the behavior of crazy beings, or of brave allies?" 3 days after the attack, a new crisis began. A neutron star near Council space started to behave strangely. Scientists watched with horror as the star became unstable. "It will explode in less than 2 weeks," a Voluvian scientist told the emergency council meeting. 3 star systems with inhabited planets are in danger. The council ordered immediate evacuations. Thousands of ships rushed to the threatened worlds. But soon it became clear there was a problem. "We cannot evacuate the outer planet in the Nexus system in time," the council leader announced. "They have too many people and not enough ships. We must focus on the planets we can save." Admiral Blackwood was in the room as an observer. She stepped forward. "Earth can help. We have ships near that sector." Councillor Vreen shook his large gray head. Your ships are too few and too small. The math is clear. 2 million people on that planet will be lost. In the silence that followed, a new voice spoke up. Not if we try something crazy. Everyone turned to look at Lisa Daniels, a human pilot who had been standing quietly against the wall. She was young, with short brown hair and determined eyes. "What do you mean?" Admiral Blackwood asked. Lisa stepped forward. "Our new experimental warp drive might be able to move a planet slightly, just enough to escape the worst of the blast." The room erupted in shocked voices. "Move a planet? Impossible. The energy required would be enormous. The risk of failure is too high." Lisa stood her ground. "We've been working with engineer Ben Russo on the technology. It's never been tested at this scale, but the math checks out." Ben Russo was called to the meeting. He was a tall man with dark skin and quick hands that moved as he explained his ideas. He showed diagrams on a screen. "It's risky," he admitted, "but we can create a warp field around the planet that might shift it just enough. We'd need to use all 4 of our new ships together." The council members looked skeptical. Representative Krell asked the question everyone was thinking. "What are the chances of success?" Ben hesitated. "Maybe 30%. "And if you fail?" Councillor Vreen demanded. "Then the ships and everyone on them would be destroyed," Ben said quietly. "But the planet would be no worse off than if we do nothing." The council debated for hours. Most thought the plan was too dangerous. Why risk good ships and crews on a mission that would probably fail? But Lisa and Ben refused to give up. They called Earth and got permission to try. A small team of volunteers was assembled. As they prepared to leave, Professor Martinez found Lisa checking her ship. "Why are you doing this?" Olivia asked. "The council has already written off that planet. The risk is enormous." Lisa looked up from her work. "Because we can't just let 2 million people die without trying to help. Even a small chance is better than no chance." The 4 ships left the next day. The council watched through long-range sensors as the small human fleet traveled to the doomed planet. Many council members were confused. Why would humans risk their lives for aliens they didn't even know? The plan was dangerous and complex. The 4 ships would position themselves around the planet and activate their warp drives at exactly the same time. They would have one chance to get it right. Council members gathered in the observation room to watch. Most expected to see the human ships destroyed. Even those who had started to respect humans thought this mission was impossible. "They truly are crazy," someone whispered as the countdown began. The sensors showed the 4 human ships in position. Energy readings spiked as they activated their experimental drives simultaneously. A blinding flash filled the screens. When the light faded, the council members stared in disbelief. The planet had moved. Not far, but enough that when the neutron star exploded a week later, the planet would survive the blast. "They did it," Ambassador Zix Terra said in amazement. "They actually moved an entire planet." "Perhaps," Representative Krell said thoughtfully, "what we call crazy, they call courage." The people saved from the outer planet thanked the humans with gifts and songs. News of the amazing rescue spread quickly across council space. Many aliens began to see humans differently. Maybe their risk-taking wasn't crazy. Maybe it was a kind of strength. But before the council could fully reconsider their view of humans, the Zeth Empire made their move. Huge Zeth warships appeared near 7 council worlds at the same time. They attacked without warning, destroying defense stations and bombarding cities. The council's military responded, but they were not prepared for such a massive attack. Their ships were designed for safe, careful battles with minimal losses. The Zeth fought with no concern for casualties. They pushed forward aggressively, taking planet after planet. "We are losing," the council military leader admitted in an emergency meeting. "Our forces are retreating everywhere. The Zeth advance seems unstoppable." Ambassador Zix Terra looked at Admiral Blackwood, who was again attending as an observer. "Can Earth help us?" Admiral Blackwood nodded. We don't have many ships, but we have good pilots, and we have ideas that might work against the Zeth. The Council was desperate. They agreed to let humans lead a counterattack against the Zeth. Colonel Jason Price was chosen to command the combined forces. He was a middle-aged man with sharp eyes and a calm voice. He had studied old Earth wars and knew how to fight against a stronger enemy. The Zeth expect us to fight like the Council, cautiously and defensively, Jason told his officers. We won't do that. We'll fight unpredictably. We'll take calculated risks. We'll use tactics the Zeth won't expect. The first major battle under human leadership took place near a gas giant planet. The Council ships were arranged in a formation that seemed to make no sense. Some ships flew dangerously close to the planet's strong gravity. When the Zeth arrived, they were confused by the strange formation. They moved forward cautiously. Colonel Price waited until the Zeth ships were in just the right position. Then he gave the order. Now. Several human ships flew directly at the Zeth fleet, seemingly on suicide runs. The Zeth concentrated their fire on these ships, which dodged and weaved but kept coming. Meanwhile, other human and Council ships moved behind the planet. When they emerged, they were perfectly positioned to attack the Zeth from behind. At the same time, hidden ships released thousands of small drones into the gas giant's atmosphere. The drones stirred up massive storms, creating electromagnetic pulses that disabled many Zeth systems. The Zeth ships tried to retreat, but the complex human strategy had trapped them. For the first time in the war, the Council forces won a decisive victory. In the Council chamber, military leaders watched recordings of the battle with amazement. These human tactics seemed completely random and dangerous. One alien said, "Look how close their ships fly to each other. Look at the risks they take." Representative Krell nodded. "But there is method in their madness. They understand something we do not, that sometimes you must risk everything to win." After the victory, more battles followed. Colonel Price taught Council pilots to be more flexible and creative. Human engineers worked with alien technicians to improve ships and weapons. The Zeth began to lose ground. They had expected an easy victory against the cautious Council. They weren't prepared for the unpredictable human strategies. Emperor Vox was furious. "How can we be losing to these primitives?" he demanded of his generals. "The humans do not fight like any species we have faced," one general explained. "They take risks we would never consider. They use tactics that seem insane but somehow work." "Then we must destroy them first," the Emperor decided. "Prepare our main fleet. We will attack Earth directly. Without the humans, the Council will fall easily." When the Council learned of the Zeth plan to attack Earth, they faced a difficult decision. Should they send ships to defend the planet of crazy humans, or should they keep their forces close to protect their own worlds? The Council called an emergency session to decide humanity's fate. The Great Council chamber was filled with voices as representatives from all 27 species argued. Should they help defend Earth, or save their ships for their own defense? "The humans are useful fighters, yes," said one alien leader. "But if we lose ships protecting Earth, we may not have enough to defend our own worlds." "If Earth falls, we will surely fall next," argued Representative Krell. "The humans have shown us new ways to fight. Without them, the Zeth will defeat us easily." After hours of debate, the Council voted. By a narrow margin, they decided to send ships to help Earth. It was the first time they had committed to defend a non-member world. When Admiral Blackwood heard the news, she was surprised but grateful. Earth's defenses were strong, but the Zeth fleet was massive. They would need all the help they could get. The combined Earth and Council fleet gathered near Jupiter. Colonel Price and Admiral Blackwood prepared a complex battle plan. They would use the gas giant's moons and rings as hiding places and ambush points. Professor Olivia Martinez watched these preparations from the Council station. She had been working with Dr. Nixtall on a special project, a comprehensive study of human psychology to present to the Council. "This is our chance," Olivia told her alien friend. "When this battle is over, We need to help the Council truly understand humans. The battle for Earth was enormous. For 3 days, ships fought throughout the solar system. The Zeth attacked with overwhelming force, but the defenders used every trick and tactic they could imagine. Human pilots flew dangerous paths through asteroid fields. Council ships, learning from their human allies, took calculated risks they would never have considered before. Together, they confused and divided the Zeth forces. On the 3rd day, Colonel Price led a daring attack on the Zeth command ship. His small, fast fleet dodged heavy fire to reach their target. Several ships were destroyed, but the survivors broke through the Zeth defenses. Emperor Vox watched in disbelief as human ships approached his vessel. "Impossible," he said. "No sane species would attempt such a suicidal attack." But the attack succeeded. The Zeth command ship was crippled, and Emperor Vox was forced to retreat. Without central leadership, the Zeth fleet fell into disarray and eventually withdrew from Earth's solar system. The victory was celebrated across Earth and Council space. 2 weeks later, the Galactic Council called a special session. Professor Martins and Dr. Nixtal were invited to present their research. "Honorable Council members," Olivia began. "For months, many of you have believed the humans are crazy. Today, I want to show you a different perspective." She and Dr. Nixtal explained how human risk-taking and human compassion came from the same source: the ability to value something more than personal safety. "Humans will risk their lives to climb a mountain, yes," Olivia said, "but they will take the same risk to save a stranger. They seek thrills, but they also seek to help others. These are not signs of insanity. They are signs of a species that has evolved to value connection, exploration, and sacrifice." Dr. Nixtal showed brain scans and psychological studies. What we see as recklessness, they experience as fulfillment. What we see as unnecessary risk, they see as meaningful challenge. The Council listened quietly. When the presentation ended, the Council leader stood. "Recent events have changed our understanding of humans," the leader said. "Their courage in defending not only their world but ours as well has proven their worth. Their unique psychology, which we once feared, may be exactly what our galaxy needs in these dangerous times." The vote was unanimous. Earth would join the Galactic Council as a full member, with a special role as military advisors. After the ceremony, Ambassador Zix Terra approached Commander Samantha Wright, who had returned to diplomatic duty. "Commander," the blue alien said hesitantly, "I have been reconsidering what you showed me when we first met. You're skydiving. Would you perhaps be willing to teach me? I think I should try to understand this human concept of fun risk better." Samantha smiled. "I'd be honored, Ambassador. We'll start with a small jump." As the human and alien walked away together, Professor Martinez turned to Admiral Blackwood. "Well," Olivia said, "it seems the Council no longer thinks all humans are crazy." Cora smiled. "Or maybe they've realized that a little craziness is exactly what the galaxy needs."